Hi, this is Kirk from NCSP. What we're going to have a look at today is how we can take the commands that we've learned in the previous sessions and actually compile them into our own short program. So here we go. Let's launch BBEM and change my window here. So I'm going to go to what monitor type should we have today? Okay, let's go for Amber, just for a bit of a change. And I'm going to turn my hide cursor so I can turn the mouse off here. And finally, I'm going to go to full screen. And I've just realized I haven't turned my clock off at the bottom of the screen here, so I'm going to use the shortcut Alt and the return key again, and just do View and turn the speed and the frames per second off. There we go, back into full screen mode. So if you remember, in our last session we had a look at the command print and how if we enclose a piece of writing within two speech marks, when we press return, then that message will get printed back on the screen. And we also had a look at the command CLS, which we can use to clear the screen. And what you'll notice is every time I'm typing in a command, that command is being executed immediately. There we go. So we're not actually writing a program at the moment. We're just trying out individual commands. And what we're going to do now is have a look at how we can actually sequence commands together to make a short program. So let's start with a clear screen first of all. So using the command CLS. And when I'm introducing the teaching of Basic to Children, what I often compare it to is a set of instructions in a book that gives you a number of steps how to make something or perform a particular task. And very often those steps will be numbered. And in the BBC Basic language, the same principle applies. We use line numbers to tell the computer in which order commands should be executed. Now, if you remember, in the first session, we actually put in just the number 123, 123. And the computer seemed quite happy with that command, sorry, with that instruction. The reason that is, it's expecting a line of command to actually follow that number. So what we're going to do is compile a series of commands using line numbers. And it's an established principle to actually start in with line number 10 and work up in multiples of 10. And we'll go into why you do that later on. So my first command is going to be line 10, and I'm going to print out my very famous hello world message, and we'll put an exclamation mark there and finish with our final speech mark. And you'll notice now when I press return, nothing has happened. It hasn't actually printed hello world out on the screen. And that's because we haven't actually run the program yet. We haven't told the computer to execute the code, the commands that we've put in. So now if I type in the command run to actually start the program and again press the return key, then the command, then the program has actually ran. It's now printed out the line hello world. Let's just clear the screen again. So at the moment it looks as if there's nothing there. We've wiped out everything that we've done. But if we type in the command run again, well, then that program is obviously still there. So how can we get it back to actually have a look at that program? Well, what we do, we use another command called list, and that will list the program on the screen. So let's press return now. And there we go. We've only got a one-line program at the moment. So let's put another line of code in. Let's have line 20, and we'll use the print command again. And this time I'll say, how are you today? Put a question mark there. Now if I run this program, what we should have, and it's good to get the kids to try and make predictions, it should print out on the screen on one line, hello world, and then on the next line, how are you today? So let's press return. There we go. And I'm going to clear my screen again, so using the command CLS. And let's list my program back. Now, One of the things I like to introduce children to is the fact that if we retype a line, so if we retype line 20, then it's actually going to overwrite what is already there. So I can put in now print goodbye. Now if I list my program again, you can see that the new line 20 has completely overwritten the old line 20. So it's not the most exciting program at the moment, just printing out 2 lines. So what I'm going to do now is show you the most simple loop that you can create within a program, and that's an infinite loop, a loop that will just run forever. And that's quite an interesting concept for children, because whenever I've asked them how long do you think this loop will last for, they say, oh, it'll print it out 10 times or 20 times. But if you keep pushing, you usually get someone, even I've had this at year 3 and year 4, who will come up with the idea that it's an infinite loop. It will run forever. So what I'm going to do now is type line 20, and I'm going to use the command go to. And that's going to tell the computer when it gets to line 20, I want it to go to another particular place in the program. And I want it to go to line 10. And I can check that line of code has actually gone in correctly by using the command list. Press return. So now we've got line 10, print hello world, line 20, go to 10. So we should just have now this infinite cycle going round and round and round. And of course, the computer's not executing that program at the moment because we haven't told it to. So let's now use the command run, press return. And there we go. It's printing hello world again and again and again and again and again, and it will just run infinitely. Now, the way we actually stop this program running is on the top left-hand side of your keyboard. You actually escape from the program. So you press the escape key. There we go. And it's saying escape at line 10. And that's the point where the program actually stopped working. So let's clear the screen again. And now I'm going to list my program back. There we go. Now, in the second programming activity, you might notice that line 10 is slightly different. I'm going to have the same message, and I'm going to retype my line of command. Okay, there's not really any copy and paste at the moment. And this time what I'm going to do is put a semicolon at the end of line 10. Press return, list my program back. And just with this one very small change, let's now run the program and see what happens. There we go. So we've got the program behaving in a very different way now. So let's press escape. And I'd like to clear my screen, list my program. And what I'd like to do, I'd actually like to improve my program now. And the very first thing I want to happen when the program runs is that the program actually clears the screen. Now, because I'm working in multiples of 10, it's very easy to put an extra line of code in at the beginning. So I'm going to use line 5. So line 5, CLS, press the return key. And now when I list that program again, there we go. You can see we've now got this extra line of command in. So if we run this program now, we get essentially a very similar result because we've only cleared the screen once. Let's escape from the program by pressing the escape key. Clear the screen. List. And now what I'm going to do is change line 20. And instead of having go to 10, instead of having go to 10, what I'm going to have is go to 5. Let's list my program again just to make sure that's gone in okay. There we go. And what you can then do is ask the children, how do you think this program is going to behave differently? And it's quite interesting to see if they will spot that it's not going to do this whole page of text. It's not going to produce this whole page of hello world, because now we're going right back to the start of the program and we're clearing the screen each time. So we'll get this rather odd result when we run the program. Here we go. There. So what's happening? it's clearing the screen, it's writing hello world, it's clearing the screen, it's writing hello world, and again it's in this infinite loop. So we'll escape from that, list, and I'm going to first of all edit line 20 so that we go back to line 10. So go to 10. And I'm a very big fan of listing the program quite often, as you can see. And let's change the message in line 10. So we're going to put a new message in there. So let's have my name is Bob. There we go. And I've actually left a space at the end there so that I've got a space between the exclamation mark and the next occurrence of the word my. So putting my semicolon in again, return, list, there we go. And let's run that now. There we are. So slightly different result by changing the text that we've put in. If you remember, escape to actually stop the program, list the program there, and that's pretty much it for this session. Have fun making up your own little short programs using CLS, clear the screen, the print command, and go to. See you next time.